हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज हम करेंगे यूनिट 1 अनीता देसाई लाइव वर्क्स इन द लैंग्वेज इशू। ठीक है। और ये जो है MEG 7 है, ब्लॉक 4 है हमारा। तो इसमें हम ऑब्जेक्टिव करेंगे पहले, फिर बायोग्राफिकल जो स्केच ऑफ अनीता देसाई करेंगे, अनीता देसाई इस मेजर वर्क के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, और अनीता देसाई की नॉवेल्स की आउटलाइन पढ़ेंगे, देसाई एंड द लैंग्वेज इश्यूज पढ़ेंगे। वैसे इसमें जो इम्पोर्टेंट है ना, वो उनका बायोग्राफिकल स्केच है अनीता देसाई जी का। और उनके मेजर वर्क के बारे में हम पूरा आउटलाइन नहीं पढ़ेंगे, लेकिन पढ़ेंगे उन्होंने कौन कौन से मेजर वर्क्स किए हैं, एंड उनके लैंग्वेज इश्यूज़ के बारे में थोड़ा पढ़ेंगे। ठीक है। तो इसमें इस वाली यूनिट में हम ये बताया है बायोग्राफिकल स्केच अनीता देसाई जी का, उनके मेजर नोवेल, एंड इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज उन्होंने क्यों चूज़ की अपनी राइटिंग में। ठीक है। तो विल स्टार्ट नाउ। अनीता देसाई वॉज बॉर्न ऑन June 24, 1937 in Mussoorie, India. Her father, Dhiren Mazumdar, was a Bengali, and her mother, Antoinette Naim, was a German. The Mazumdars left Germany 2 decades before the Nazi persecutions and settled in India. ठीक है। देसाई हैज़ इनहेरिटेड अ मल्टीलिंगुअल background. She is familiar with Bengali, Hindi, German, and English. However, the first language that she formally learned to read and write was English at Queen Mary's High School, Higher Secondary School in North Delhi. Her first piece of writing was also in English at the age of 7. She tried her hand at short stories and made her own illustrations for them, sewing them onto covers to make them appear as books. उन्होंने खुद अपने से लिखी वो, और फिर अपने आप ही स्यू किया, अपने आप ही सिला, वो बना एक बुक बना दी थी। Okay, these pieces were published in children's magazines. It was in her 20s that Desai started writing novels. She admits that she prefers novels to short stories because the form of the novel gives her a good deal of thought and time to get round, see it from different angles and aspects, whereas a short story demands something quite different. तो वो बोलती हैं कि you have the whole of it quite clear in your mind and you just put it down at one throw. The writers who made an impact on her mind were Emily Bronte, Virginia Woolf, D.H. Lawrence, James Joyce, and Gerald Manley Hopkins. G.M. Hopkins. She read Wuthering Heights when she was 9 years old. The novel stuck her. वो बोलती हैं कि नॉवल का उन पर बहुत ज़्यादा प्रभाव पड़ा। ठीक है। Desai's childhood and student life was spent in Delhi. She graduated from Miranda House, Delhi University with English honors in 1957. She worked for a year after her graduation at Max Muller Bhavan in Calcutta. In 1958, a year after she graduated, she married an executive, Ashwin Desai. She has 4 children. Her daughter, Kiran Desai, is also a writer. Her novel, uh, Hula Balu in the Goa Orchard, has been recently published. This work was serialized in New Yorker and has been included in the Vintage Book of Indian Writing. Okay. Regarding the autobiographical element in her novels, जो देसाई कमेंट्स, उनके जो ऑटोबायोग्राफिकल एलिमेंट्स हैं उनके नॉवेल्स में, उनके ऊपर वो बोलती हैं कि in countless small ways the scenes and settings certainly belong to my life. Many of the minor characters and incidents are also based on real life, but the major characters and the major events are either entirely imaginary or an amalgamation of several characters and happenings. One can use the raw material of life only very selectively. It is common among writers to pick out something from real life and develop their situation around it, while there are others who start from some real experience. You use it as a base but don't confine yourself to it. Desai admits that the village by the sea tells a true story based entirely on facts. She recalls in her dedication the many holidays that she had spent in ये थुल है THUL थुल. Just wait. After her mother's death in mid 70s, the language of her childhood, German, gained a new significance. She associated with her mother, who was a German. It reminded her of the lullabies and nursery rhymes that she had learnt in German as a child. Desai began to associate German with the deepest level of her consciousness. The hero of her novel, um Baumgartner, Baumgartner's Bombay, Hugo Baumgartner, is a German exile in India who has learnt smatterings of the local uh, language. Okay. Now, the novel is written in English, has long passages in German, and is peppered with Hindi phrases. उसमें कुछ हिंदी phrases भी डाले गए हैं. Several literary awards has been given to Desai. Her novel Fire on the Mountain won the Royal Society of Literature Winifred Holt Memorial Prize and the 1978 National Academy of Letters Award. Clear Light of the Day and In Custody were shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 1980 and 1984 respectively. She has also had she has also had various academic honors. Desai was a visiting fellow at Girton College from 1987 to 1989 and is a Purrington Professor of English at Mount Holyoke College, where she also teaches one semester of creative writing course. She is also a member of the advisory board of English at the National Academy of Letters in Delhi and a fellow of the Royal Society of Literature in लंदन. तो उनकी नॉवेल्स की अगर बात की जाए तो उनके नॉवेल्स में क्राई द पिकॉक, वॉइसेस इन द सिटी, बाय बाय ब्लैकबर्ड, वेयर शैल वी गो दिस समर, फायर ऑन द माउंटेन, क्लियर लाइट ऑफ द डे, इन कस्टडी एंड गार्टनर्स बॉम्बे. शॉर्ट स्टोरी में इनके हैं गेम्स एट ट्विलाइट लंदन, विलेज बाय द सी, एंड बच्चों के लिए उन्होंने द पीकॉक गार्डन, कैट ऑन अ हाउस बोट बॉम्बे, सर्कस कैट, हाउ जेंटल इज द मिस्ट, ग्रैंड मदर, एन एग्जामिनेशन टू सील अ पिक्चर, tea with the Maharani, ghost house, Mr. Bose private bliss, private tuition by Mr. Bose, descent from the rooftop, surface textures and the accompanist, है ना, ये उनके बच्चों के लिए उन्होंने लिखा है. नाउ आउटलाइन ऑफ द अनीता देसाईज नॉवल, ये हम नहीं करेंगे, ये सारे नॉवेल्स की आउटलाइन है इनकी, ठीक है, विल नॉट डू दिस. नेक्स्ट है हमारा कि देसाई एंड द लैंग्वेज इशू, इनके बारे में थोड़ा हम पढ़ लेते हैं. वैसे ये क्वेश्चन कभी मैंने देखा नहीं है कि ये वाला क्वेश्चन आया है, लेकिन स्टिल आई विल फिनिश ऑफ इट सो दैट हमारी कोई कन्फ्यूज़न इस चैप्टर में नहीं रहेगी फिर. ओके. Commenting on the writing of her novels, Desai says it is not an act of deliberation, reason or choice. It is a matter of instinct, silence. Anita Desai grew up with German, Bengali, Hindi, English. She says, we spoke German at home. It was the language in which I learned nursery rhymes and fairy tales. We spoke Hindi to all our friends and neighbors. I learnt English when I went to school. Given her multilingual background, Desai could have chosen any one of the 4 languages in which to write, but she says she found English most suitable for her works. तो वो बोलती हैं कि my language is English and I find it answer all my needs. It is rich and flexible, supple and adaptable, varied and vital. I think it is even capable of reflecting the Indian character and situation. Of course, अब ये बोलती है, of course, circumstances have also played a role, she says in her choice of the language. तो वो बोलती हैं कि what were these circumstances in my case. Like so many other Indians, I had been sent to mission school, in my case Queen Mary's school in Old Delhi, which was run by a Church of England sisterhood called the Grey Sisters. ठीक है. Although I had grown up speaking three languages at home, again, as most Indians do, English was the first language I learned to read and write, and this fact affected my living and writing ever after. As soon as I learned the English alphabet and saw how it could be transformed into fairy tales and words, I took on it as the key of the world of books, the world of the imagination, and I decided instantly that was the world in which I wanted to live, to which I belonged. मतलब उनको पता चल गया था कि उनको अब क्या करना है. Desai is quick to point out that there are problems for her as an Indian writer in choosing English as the medium for her work. It is partially to do with the fact that since English is at best an immigrant in India, and there is little tradition to fall back on. She notes, so वो बोलती हैं, it was only when I had written about half a dozen novels that I became aware there was a problem involved in the writing of them. I mean, other than the immediate problems I worked out daily on a sheet of paper. When I began to meet other writers and hear them speak at conferences, I saw how much thought they had given the matter of translating Indian thoughts, modes of expression, and experiences into a foreign language that often did not have the vocabulary for them. मतलब कितना स्ट्रगल करना पड़ता था, जो लोग हिंदी में लिखते थे ना उनको स्ट्रगल करना पड़ता था. I realized I had not really been solving these problems easily and unconsciously. I had been evading them by sticking my head ostrich fashion into the stands of what critics call the psychological novel, the subjective novel, which seemingly could be written in any language and did not call for the creation of a realistic character of dialogue. Desai comments about this language of the interior in her work. She says, by writing novels that have been catalogued by critics as psychological and that are purely subjective, mm, I have been left free to employ the language of the interior. Even when two characters meet, they use this particular type of language, the language of their thoughts, of their interior selves, which has nothing to do with geography and can be written in any language. Now, Desai states that while she was writing these subjective novels, वो psychological novels लिखती थी ना, subjective novels जिसमें emotions डाले जाते थे. Rath Jhabwala was reproducing Indian speech rhythms in English in her novels. ठीक है, तो but it is to Salman Rushdie that she gave credit for bringing the spoken language of the street onto the printed pages. In Custody एक novel है. She says that she finally experimented with letting Indian accent and tone enter her speech. It was like a bilingual experiment. मतलब उन्होंने अपने लिखने में इंडियन एक्सेंट को डालना शुरू कर दिया. तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा एक पैराग्राफ है जिसमें कि मैं अब वैसे पढ़ना ज़रूरी नहीं है वो, है ना. Later during a lecture at Yale University in 1989, Desai talked about her trilingual experiment in Baumgartner's Bombay. ये तो हमने पहले भी पढ़ा है कि इसमें हिंदी, इंग्लिश और दूसरी लैंग्वेज भी है, जर्मन भी है. She says that she wrote the book with a sense of releasing it using the language of her childhood, German. She says, it was a book I had to write if I were to clear away a pile of debris or unload a heavy piece of baggage from my back so that I could continue on my way. About her trilingual narrative experiment in the novel, she says, 4 years while I wrote 4 years while I wrote away in English and talked away in Hindi, I was searching for a subject that would allow me to use that part of my tongue that I had to silence for all my writing years, because I could not find the key to unlock it. ये जर्मन भाषा की बात कर रही हैं कि वो उनके अंदर काफ़ी टाइम तक थी तो वो उसको बाहर निकालना चाहती थी. आई कुड हैव रिटन अ बायोग्राफी ऑफ माई मदर बट आई फ्लेंच्ड फ्रॉम दैट, मतलब मैंने वो नहीं लिखी. ठीक है, अब हम लेट अस सम अप करते हैं. दिस यूनिट हैज़ गिवन यू इंसाइट इनटू द पर्टिकुलर peculiar circumstances of Anita Desai's life and background to make you understand her multilingual origin and choice of the English language as her medium for writing. Her persona comes out sharply in her self reflective interviews. The background study of Anita Desai and her work will be help you to appreciate the text under study better. Okay, चलो इसमें हमें पता चल गया कि उनको क्यों ये करना था, क्यों इंग्लिश में उन्होंने लिखना स्टार्ट किया. चलो थैंक यू सो मच. ये हमारा यूनिट आज फिनिश हो गया. नाउ इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो वी विल रीड अबाउट द यूनिट 2 क्लियर लाइट ऑफ द डे, थीम एंड टेक्निक्स एंड टाइम्स. ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच.